innocent. It began as it ended, lacking light, empty of reflection. If only to score the clock, to bury reluctance, to hear the ricochet, and walk away. It's grown so easy. Hail to the chief, hail to the sacred words, all hail the words, the sacred amended words that require nothing more when questions question me. He was once someone's little boy, a hopeful statistic brought it to the negative. His aim better than his plans, his shards offering little solace, little solace. Hail to the chief, hail to the right to trample, my right to trample any weed or rose, if there blooms fruit on. Boots don't kill, never boots, only people do. She was once someone's little girl, a spark, a promise, snuffed out, unknown to the extinguisher, her shards offering bitter solace, bitter solace. Who will have the courage to say what all claim, but fear to know? If only
Thank you all for being here. There are so many fine arts events in Greenville. We're really glad that you chose to hear us. We're real excited about the music we're bringing you. Everything on the first half of the program is either new or recent, and everything on the second half is my new arrangements of Stephen Foster's songs. So you're the first to hear much of this. As to the first one, in January of 2018, I had some a couple of little text phrases wandering through my head. In our house, there's long been just anguish at the appalling plague of gun violence in this country, and I had a couple phrases going through my head that I thought might be well applied to a song about that. And then the next day was the Parkland shootings, and it prompted me to finish, and I finished quickly. This next one, Odonata, many of you who know me know that I like bugs. I really do. And among my favorites are the dragonflies and damselflies, very colorful. And this is the order of insects that includes them, Odonata. And one day I was paging through my field guide. Yes, I actually do that, page through my field guide. And I'm reading the names of these things, and I'm thinking, these names are great. and so I could make an environmental statement just by listing all of these names. So I did. I sat there with the field guide and I wrote down a bunch of names, and that's what you're singing. So.
Okay, here we go. Odonata, winged damsels and flying dragons, medieval and invisible, but to the fortunate, dart hither and back in arrogant play, capturing airborne quarry one at a time. Meadowhawks, amberwings, skimmers, pennants, emeralds, sun dragons, and shadow dragons, cruisers, gliders, and dashers, all emerge from fearsome aquatic nymphs, quietly prowling the ripples. Sprightly tigers, voracious pixies, a quirky fighter squadron on random sorties. Saddlebags and darners, bluets and dancers, ruby spots and spiny legs, snake tails, fork tails, basket tails, spike tails, club tails, and white tails still patrol the shores on sturdy veins in gaudy colors. Will we see what is too fragile to ignore? Too rare to lose before their buoyance no longer fills the wind.
And flying dragons,
Reckoning. A child wonders who to follow, where to go. You offer chimeras, oracles of a fevered hunch, skewed visions of a sugar high. How can he prosper without sustenance? We breathe from different places, singing lines that dare not rhyme. How does yours all on its own? You intuit a riot of slipshod wishes, where I see a perfect puzzle begging for assembly. Anything counts as a card in your house. Does nothing tremble your thin facade? We breathe from different places, one proved and one presumed. Your confidence gives you away. How can you reach such a reckoning from no place at all?
Sorry, I had ideas about starting the next piece early. So there's a story to go with this one, Phoebe. In December of 2018, I was innocently clearing leaves off the driveway and soon realized I was being followed by a bird. And it turns out it is an eastern phoebe. I've heard stories from other people that they do this. But the bird had figured out that when I scraped up the leaves, I exposed things that she wanted to eat. And the bird was very tame, and by the time I was about to quit because of darkness, she actually landed on my rake to get a closer view of the yummies down there. So quit because of darkness, and then the next day we were both working in the front yard, and she shows up again, and is equally tame and attentive, and eventually lands on my head. Unfortunately, I was the one holding the camera, and I said to Marion, "Take the camera." You know, but and she did, but the bird hopped onto a tree nearby, and so we didn't get a picture of it on my head, but we did get this. It's darling.
Raking leaves, not an auspicious beginning of a compelling story. The scratching of tines on the driveway, the noise of labor to impose my vision of order was a dinner bell to her. In the dead of winter, this flycatcher robin, ounce and a half, perched on a limb just inches away, is unemployed. But hunger is always in business. I marveled at the frail black feet tucked tight beneath the soft white belly. Suddenly, now and again, she'd swoop to ambush the feet of grub, and nights by the rake revealed. For her songless hours she kept watch, robbing her hell as her kind does, changing stations only for a better love, even aboard the rake itself. From then she pounced, and down went another crucial morsel. I know it was only instinct, driven by want, but it felt like trust. After a while, my old heart provided the optimum panorama, and for one especially long minute we shared an intimate space. Maybe I was just one of those cattle that attracts hungry egrets. But how I longed for her to know my joy.
guitar?
That's it.
That's a piano. Yeah. In 2006, I did a set of songs called Voices from the Village. And these were settings of women seeking men personal ads from the New York Times and the Village Voice. You can't make this stuff up. So here are a couple of favorites. These are the actual words from the actual ads. I toyed with the order of the words maybe a little bit, but this is what was actually said.
Beautiful, petite, lovely and elite redhead, warm and real, classical jazz pianist and a singer, seeks single male who's single and sweet, who's sweet and classy, creative, caring, sensitive, loyal and sweet. I'm seeking a man who's classy and sweet, especially sweet for a redhead petite. Beautiful, petite, redhead seeks a single male to share the arts and laughter and all that good stuff. And all that good stuff. For a redhead petite.
Thank you. In 2016, my dear friend Keller Freeman and I put together a benefit concert for a wonderful area conservation group called Upstate Forever. And we put on a concert with entirely new music, and one of them was a song cycle called Imperiled Blaze. And we solicited poems from members of the Embers Foundation, wonderful writer support group here in town. And the only rule was that it had to be somehow based upon the monarch butterfly. And so we did a cycle of songs, all had to do with the monarch butterfly, and we're going to do two of those now. And what I think is really special is that we have the poets here to read their poems. So first let me introduce Sue Lyle Inman to read Against the Odds.
Against the odds. When you wake up, winds will blow. Don't imagine you are the same. Arise and fly. Trust blue open infinities. Despite poisons, fire, severe storms, you'll go against the odds. Predators overthrow, seize, batter, consume your kin. Tyrannies of greed. Poor farmers fell the trees, their eyes blinded by need, desperation, and woe. Come October, I'll see you in the space just above the trees. You're Mexico bound, fluttering your deep, russet wings of grace, like autumn leaves, except not to the ground. Soaring again, you leave milkweed for good. El Rosario, too, is in your blood.
When you wake up, winds will blow. Don't imagine you are the same. Arise and fly, just open infinities. Despite poisons, selfish storms, you go against the odds. Predators overflow, seize and batter, consume their kin, consume their kin. Tyrannies of greed. Poor farmers fell the trees, their eyes blinded by need, desperation, and woe. Predators fly, tyrannies of greed, tyrannies of greed, tyrannies of greed. Come October, I'll see you in the space just above our trees. Mexico bound, fluttering russet grace, like autumn leaves, except not to the ground. Soaring again, you leave milkweed for good. Rosario, too, is in your blood. Arise and fly, arise and fly. Arise and fly against the odds.
And now I'd like to invite Nancy Dew Taylor to come up and read Green Migrations.
Dream migrations. In the final autumn of her life, she falls in love with transformation. A swaddling, pale green jade hangs beneath a leaf, kept in an old aquarium. For a week it dangles as she marvels at metamorphosis, dreams migration toward Latin mountainsides. When the body begins its slow descent, she sits transfixed, the crumpling of orange veined in black, the head freed from its transparent sack. She sets the glass box in a garden, rich with milkweed, bright with dahlias. The newborn emerges, sips, risks the air, up over rooftops, flown.